Here we go. Tuesyay, what's up? What's up?
Sound check, sound check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I bet this one person is Patrick. I would say it's Patrick.
I bet that's CJ.
All right. I'd say
So
Patrick.
we're probably both wrong. That's probably Joe Boy. What's up?
What's up?
Oh, right, CJ. I was right. I had faith in my nephew, and I was right. I was right.
It's CJ.
Thanks,
I thought
CJ.
He has his own thing going.
Well, he does, but
He has been doing something, right?
yeah, he does, and I think he can monetize it already. Unfortunately, I think his problem is he doesn't have a Gcash yet or something like that. It's not verified because he's under 18. So
Right.
I don't know if that's
Maybe he should use your Gcash because you're over 18.
and risk
Get money.
all that cash.
No, I mean
In my
he's
hands?
a totally different account that's in your name. He's monetized. He's monetized. Wow.
No. I think he's near the amount of followers or viewers or subscribers where he can monetize already. So I think that's the thing.
Wow. He has
But
been
I'm not sure.
working real hard.
I think this is better. All right, that's better.
Hard sell, huh? Hard sell.
Nope, he's just basically,
Doing like
you-
Lolo game stuff.
like start selling hotcakes too. If everybody's selling hotcakes and they're selling like hotcakes, then sell hotcakes. It's the lechon manok sari-sari store situation, Everybody's gonna start doing gaming, and apparently
Is
they're
it gaming? Is it gaming that is doing
it's
right
gaming, it's streaming.
now? All right. Okay.
He said I can fill it out now. I'm monetized. Whoa,
All right.
We're not
You're
worthy.
monetized.
we're
All
not
right.
worthy.
What kind of game is this? Is this like the bus game, like what Lolo Gaming is playing?
I think it's shooting stuff. It's like Valorant.
All right.
Valorant. So same crap, different cover. Like it's basically like Fortnite, not like Fortnite, but more like I guess like Call of Duty, Battlefield, all those other for Halo first-person shooter games. But just I think this is a little bit more cartoony and probably like different things that you can do. I even talked to Raj about it, like this first-person shooter
Right.
games, and he said Valorant. The difference is Valorant is I think you can't shoot while running. Like you have to stand still, shoot, then you can run, and then stand still, shoot, run. Apparently, there's a difference there. So he gave up on Valorant. I can't handle the brain rot anymore. Wow. I mean,
Brain rot,
Brain-
whatever that means.
I think I know what that is. Just go to a local internet cafe and look at those kids there who haven't taken a bath in years. They need to touch grass. You know that term, right? Touch grass. You need to touch grass. You know what that term is? It's actually like a gamer term for like those who are grinding, which is sometimes what I do with NBA 2K and the sports games. And now I'm playing Madden. I just started on Madden 23. I just finished 2K, and it's gonna resume after when the NBA season resumes. So NBA 2K23 comes out. The Jordan NBA 2K23 edition comes out September 9, I think. So
Right.
I'm not playing basketball games on my PS5 till then, but I'm playing MLB, which is the show, which is a baseball game, and I'm grinding so I can get those cards for the good players like Otani and such. But while I'm busy with that, they had Madden 23 on sale, which is the best version of Madden in years, which is NFL football. And I downloaded that, and Raj and I are playing it, and crap, now I have to grind that. So I'm going between football and baseball and Jago and whatever else I have to do. But what CJ does, the grinding that they do for like these first-person shooter games is different. I mean, they can play that for like the whole week straight. Like with what I do, it's like I grind for like a couple of hours, I'm good. But I don't know how these kids have the energy to play a game and do it for hours and hours, and maybe even like days, and that's why he has the term brain rot. Right, Siege? Is that what that means? Brain rot? You gotta explain it to Tito Iceman, because he's not a gamer. He's a
So
reader.
brain rot is like basically like your brain is rotting. Is that what it is?
Yes. And we're literally sitting there looking at the same map, running around shooting each other, this same freaking thing. It's like that same map in what's that game? I bet you played that too. Counter Strike. Was that Counter Strike? From back in the day?
Yeah.
It's that same map.
Counter-Strike.
It's like brick, like a brick. It's like a lot of bricks. There's like a bridge, and you're going around like a tunnel, and it's that same thing.
Right.
And you play it for
Right.
30 seconds. Somebody shoots you, and then you respawn again. And okay, anyway.
All right.
So what's brain rot? Can you read that, Ice? Definition of brain rot?
It's basically just getting your mind lost in the game and raging that much. All right. So that means you're just going crazy. All right. Okay.
That's how he broke his new
Brain
keyboard.
rot is just like going crazy.
That's how he broke his new
Brain
keyboard.
rot.
So he told me that he just
Going nuts.
his keyboard's broken. I asked him why. He's just like he's just broke. I think he went on a rage. He went crazy. Like yeah.
I am just glad I'm from, I was born in the late 70s, grew up
Same
in
here.
the 80s and the 90s. I'm just so glad that was my era. I mean, that
Same
was,
here.
I think that was the best time. Now it's just, I think everywhere it's the same. Like, I thought it's just Japan or like developed countries, but I think it's like basically everywhere. Well, not unless you're actually in the country and you don't have internet, then that's a different story. But if you have internet, you have all these gadgets, I think it's the same everywhere. And it's just crazy because it's just different, man. I mean, they're probably enjoying it and they're probably like, no, I wouldn't exchange this for whatever you had back in the 80s and 90s. No way. But me, having been in that time and, learning how
Battle
to actually
City?
interact with people. Yeah, Battle City. At least that was like, it wasn't that high tech that I don't get brain rot with Battle
No,
City.
you can't play Battle
Right?
City for like days. You can't play
Yeah.
Mario for days, right? It's boring as heck.
It's different. Now it's
Plus you have
just
plus you have to
your
play to
computer.
pay that ma guy how much, right? Or you're gonna order like ding dong and then like those drinks
right.
that they
so,
serve.
I mean, you don't have enough money to actually rot your brain. But
Yes.
now because everything's available, you just have the internet and you just have the gadget and it's your own.
Two
then
letters.
It's at your own disposal. Right?
Two
So
letters.
it's just like What?
ML,
ML. What's ML?
dude. ML is like the initials of brain rot. BR. ML is like it's on your phone. It's free. You can play it with like all your friends are playing it. You can just sit there and and I never got into ML. I'm not like a fan of that stuff. Clash of Clans, yeah, but ML I never got into ML. And everybody's playing it from your Lola to your neighbor to your. It's not because these mobile games, hardcore gamers, we don't really discriminate, but we don't count those people that are into that as legit gamers. Like if you say you play mobile games, you're not a gamer, man.
not a
You just have a
gamer.
game on your phone. Yeah, you have a game on your phone. That's why you're playing it.
Yeah, I mean, but he's playing it, so he's a gamer.
He's not a
playing the
gamer,
game.
dude. No, he's not a gamer, dude. He's not a gamer. He doesn't know the history about video games. He doesn't care. It's basically he's playing that game because that's what's being promoted to death at that particular moment. Like he has no sense of like real loyalty to it. There's nothing organic about that game. That's gonna be a passing fancy, and before you know it, it's pay to win. So basically, these companies, if you watch YouTube, they will always show you commercials about like with this Russian actors and actresses like going, "Oh, I already get 30,000 points. How did I do it? Oh, I just did this. I can get this and I build my castle in my." And it's like you watch that crap. That commercial is not for gamers. That commercial is like for anybody who has a phone who can download it via Android or Apple Store or whatever and play something on their phone and think they're gamers because the graphics look good. There's a control. There's everything, but it's actually just you building up a character and trying to be more powerful than your friends online who you're playing with. But it's not like a gamer like starting from Mario to, let's say, Battle City and then to Genesis with Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and then to whatever it is that we're playing now. I think that's a gamer. Somebody who buys a video game console because you bought that video game console only for gaming. You didn't buy that to browse the internet. You didn't buy that to call your friends. You bought that to play video games. Your phone is also your clock. It's also your organizer. It's also your YouTube. Your
Yeah.
Netflix,
It's
right?
also your life, basically.
It's your life. Yeah, it's your Gcash. It's your money. It's your money,
You
right?
lose your phone, you go nuts. You
Exactly.
have nothing.
So what are you? A phoner? A mobiler? Right?
Phony. You're a
That's
phony.
it. I like it. You're not
Not
a
a
real
real
gamer.
person anymore. You're a
Yeah,
phony.
you're not a real gamer. You play games on your phone, but you're not a gamer. I mean, my wife, like, I don't know if you finished, what's this game? Candy Crush?
Right.
And I downloaded Four Picks One Word just the other night, just like, because I kind of miss it. I'm like, I need to stir up my brain cells. I gotta play something that's kind of like, like box, what's that game? Scrabble, something like that. So I downloaded Four Picks One Word, and Raj and I were lying in bed, and we were like both trying to figure it out. Like they'll show you four pictures, and you have to
Right.
figure out what that word. You know that game,
I
right?
have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play that. I have that on my phone.
And that's a mobile gamer experience. That's not a console gamer experience. That's just my thing, my take. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you have a device that has the option to play a game, that doesn't mean you bought that device to play a game. It's just an option that it provides. But if you have a PS5, that's the only purpose it serves. It's just to play a game, or an Xbox, or a PlayStation, or whatever, a Sega. That's it. You're a gamer. So there, it's still a gamer, but not the standards that we have on gamers, according to CJ. Okay, so I don't know about standards though, because there are PC gamers and there are console gamers, and those two kids just can't get along. Because the PC gamers think they're smarter than the console gamers because they use a keyboard, they can upgrade their settings, their video settings, their graphics card. They can do other productive things on the PC. Whereas as PS5 guys, Xbox guys, we just have like this how many buttons in the controller, and that's all we have to memorize. But see, PC gamers are not really just PC gamers. They could be layout artists. They could be video editors. They could be, doing online class on their PC. So it's not like me, who's just a gamer. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? It's like not all drivers are Formula One drivers, right? Just because you drive a car doesn't mean you're a legit driver. But to drive a Formula One car or to drive a high performance vehicle, that's what makes you a legit driver. Because only those few can actually drive that car. Not anybody can just drive it. So that's what I mean.
And not every driver is a sweet lover. I mean, you can't drive.
Jeepney drivers lang.
Where did that come from? Basta driver, sweet lover. I mean, how did
God
that
knows
come
who
about?
does not pay.
I know. God knows who does not pay.
Barya na
Now
po
I
sa
like-
umaga, right? I mean,
God knows who does
oh,
not.
what else? Okay, you can tell now who rides jeepneys here. Anybody else out there, you gotta share these lines that you see in jeepneys. What are common, like those? Somebody makes those stickers, right? Because it's the same graphic style. The one where
It is.
it's like it's about like this big, and it's like usually they stick it behind
But
the
those
driver.
I think those are the most popular. I think God knows who does not pay. Basta driver,
But lover, sweet lover.
Maria La Po sa umaga.
Barya na po sa umaga. What else? Those are top three. I think
There's that top three, but there's that.
Larga na?
can't
Isa na
put it
something
into,
larga.
No, I can't put it into the exact words but the thought is do not knock because it's not a door. Do not do psst because like you're not a dog or something. It's like that. But you say para is for people.
Okay.
You don't knock because you're not a door, and you don't psst because it's for some reason it's like you're not an animal or something. So
There's
you
a
have
stick.
God,
There's a
you say
sticker
para.
that sticker must be like this big.
No, it's I mean it was like about I don't know. It's like it's squared. Like you have those like fonts right there, like those words written. on
what about posters?
not
The
that long
posters
ago.
the
Posters,
posters usually they have those like on tricycles, right? Like um
posters, what
like
well,
you know
usually
that
the tricycles have
that
like
that that kid with a mohawk,
katas
baby with a
ng
mohawk going like this, bawal na kasi mangot or something like that, or that guy with like Muslims
yeah, or
like that or something, right? You know,
yeah,
yeah.
and usually they have the Morales family, whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like they always like the Nantoka family. It's like whoever family, right?
Not for
And they
hire.
have the not for hire or
Yeah, katas the Saudi,
ta,
katas
di
the
ba?
Saudi.
Katas
Yeah,
ng Saudi, katas ng Japan or something. I'm like, oh my god.
yeah, yeah. Usually that's what. And the poster. Sometimes I've been in a tricycle and I've been no, not a tricycle, a pedicab, because that's what we have in Bakaka. We have a pedicab, which is a motorcycle in the
What's the
middle.
difference between what's a
A
pedicab
motor,
and a tricycle? Do that
the,
same?
yes, the pedicab is a motorcycle in the middle, and there are two wheels on the side, and people are like seated. The tricycle is a driver and then pasajero, and usually only for one or two passengers, like in Manila. In Manila, it's tricycles. Like BF, it's tricycle. So when you para tricycle, it's just you and maybe your companion, and that's it
All
on the
right.
side.
So a pedicab
Like
is what, like the
that
one that
big
we
ass
have.
thing, the one with the thing in the middle, and then there's like
You can have
people.
like 7 people, 8 people.
Yes, and
Okay,
and
you
and,
always
and
wonder
that's
how
that's why
how do they
you have to
do that?
balance it. You have to balance it. If there's nobody in the front seat, it will tilt. Especially in
Now,
Bakaka, which is
those are legit drivers. They are the drivers. What are you
yes.
talking about? F1 freaking ass. Like those are the drivers. Right? I mean, how can they do it? I beats me how they do it. You know what I'm saying?
You know the worst part, the ones
What?
sitting like right by the side of the driver, whatever, they get to inhale all that all that smoke because it
I
goes
know.
in. Because
And
if you're
and you can
sitting in the
tell
back,
too. Right. And you can tell too who's the expert pedicab passenger. If usually they sit at at the far back, right? And when
mm-hmm.
it's like going up, they know when to actually
the
get
move,
off
what
and
do
push,
yeah,
right?
yes, 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 yes,
Tune
yes,
out and push.
yes,
They would
yes.
actually help the driver.
But
It's
you
like,
never.
see, it's just like instinct.
But you didn't go
They
through
just
that
do it.
in Midland though, in Maa, because Maa's flat. In Bakaka, dude, there's the most popular old school pedicab driver there, and I think he was the first ever. Maybe there were two of them, and the other one became a barangay captain, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Nung Jun and Nung Peter. And Nung Peter was like, he kind of looks like Dentro Padilla, with the hair like this, and he's dark and whatever. And his tricycle or his pedicab was the same unit from the time maybe a Bakaka kid was like in kindergarten to like maybe he started bringing his own kid to school already in kindergarten. It's still the same freaking pedicab unit. It's basically held together by welding. You can see all the welding marks everywhere. So every time he goes uphill in Bakaka going to Garcia Heights, it tilts or it lacks power and it stops. And everybody knows that no Peter's pedicab is the one to avoid. But he was the most popular. Yes, Raj?
Can I play?
Yeah. Well, where's the fraction thing? I thought you were going to study get your book first. Okay? And then you can play right away. Okay. Okay, play first, then you do your thing. Alright, so anyways, yeah. Do you have one in Midland, in Maa? Anybody popular there? Was like a
No, but
known jeepney
I
driver?
stayed. No, 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 no.
Obrero?
I do remember when I was in Assumption School, and there were a lot of kids who lived in Obrero, right? So the Obrero area. So they have, it's not a carpool, so it's a pedicab pool, right? So
Okay.
it's a pedicab pool, and the most, well, I think there are two popular, like pedicab pools there.
Mm-hmm.
One who goes with Nong Jimmy and Nong Boy, right? So those are the two
They all have the same
popular
names.
drivers. Yeah, Nong Boy and Jimmy. You're like, oh my god, they're yeah. Nong Boy actually was my dad's friend. I found out like from my grandmother. It was like, oh, when like we were riding with him for quite a while, and he didn't know that we were like Luceros and stuff.
Yeah.
So when when he asked one of the kids that was in his pedicab, because we're not from Aurora, right? But from time to time, we would be with some of those kids because
Yeah.
we're friends with some of those kids. And my
Yeah.
grandmother lives in Aurora, so we're like, oh, can we like, can we get a ride with your pedicab pool or whatever? And like, yeah, and yeah, as long as you pay, it's fine. Then eventually, he found out that my dad was my dad, like, oh,
Yeah.
anak ni Camprido, amigo
Old
kay
school.
ng papa. Then, yeah, so
Obero
from
Boy.
that moment
Obero
on,
Boys. Founder of Obero Boys.
every time we get a ride on his pedicab, it's free.
Wow.
Because they were like childhood friends. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
barkada kay ng Prido.
No,
So
your
it's like,
dad
all
was
right.
known, was notorious, so you didn't want to mess with the kids. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, no. I think they were like really good friends because because my grandmother also, like, when I mentioned it to my grandmother, like,
So
Poldo.
this is
I
Nong
don't know how
Jimmy,
he,
Nong
Nung
Jimmy,
boy,
Nong boy.
but
Okay.
actually he's real. But my grandmother like, si Poldo. So I was like, I don't know why it's boy, but it's Poldo. So it's like probably that's his real name, Poldo, right? Because my dad's
Leopoldo.
Alfredo.
His real name's
It could
probably
be
Leopoldo.
Leopoldo, right?
Yeah.
It could be Leopoldo, right? Because everybody had like your dad's Antonio, right?
Yeah, and he's known
And
as Nong Boy, Manong Boy. His
really,
sibling,
your
younger
dad,
siblings. Yes, your younger siblings call him Manong Boy. But
right?
his colleagues call him Tony. But his siblings call him Manong Boy because he's the eldest.
Yeah. My dad's Manoy Fred because like it's I don't know why, like, okay, so my dad's like the eldest, so he's the Manoy. The
Okay.
second is the Manong. So it's like they
Okay.
call my dad, he's the eldest, they call him Manoy Fred. Then
Okay.
the second son, they call him Manong Rene. So it's like I don't know, is that correct? Is if you're older, you're Manoy and then you're Manong? Is
I
that what
think
it
it
is?
depends. Like if you're Ilonggo or if you're Cebuano, they probably have different terms for that. Because like, in Ilocano, there's like Ading, which is like the youngest, and there is Apo, who is like the grandfather or the grandmother, like the elder. They refer to them as Apo. What else? I just know there's banglo, which is like a term for like a young. So it depends. I think I'm not sure with. I'm not sure with, let's say, Cebuano or Bicolanos or whatever, but the Manoy and the what's the other one? Manoy Manong.
Yeah, Manong.
Eddie Garcia is referred to as Mano. Is it Manoy? Is that what it's referred
Manoy.
to?
Manoy.
Manoy,
Manoy.
right? So let's find out where Eddie Garcia is from, because maybe that's probably an indicator of where that originally came from. Because I don't know why he's referred to as Manoy. Eddie Garcia is or was born in Juban,
Mm-hmm.
Sorsogon.
Sorsogon.
He's from
So
Sorsogon.
which part is this? Is this like
It's
northern Luzon?
yes, you're right. It's in Luzon. Sorsogon is in Luzon. So maybe that's a Tagalog thing. Maybe your dad, man. Because if it's Bisaya, what's the like Kuya in Bisaya? Manoy?
I don't know.
Manoy sounds Bisaya, doesn't it? Manoy?
It does. It does. I have neighbors who calls their
No, but that's
older
Manoy.
brother
That's like
Kuya.
Manoy mana. Manoy is like, marunong.
Yeah, I mean,
Sipat.
if
Manoy mana.
yeah, different pronunciation, different meaning. When
Yes,
you say
yes.
Manoy, it's like different. But when you say Manoy, then you're like a Manoy kena, Manoy kena. Right? So it's like that means stay away from that guy. Like a
Maybe
Manoy.
that's what they meant with your dad. Manoy.
No,
I
you're like
spoke.
Manoy friend.
Yeah, that's a difference. It's
So
like a
Manoy is
respectful
like,
term, right?
but Manoy is also a good thing because it's like when I meet
Hey,
people, I'd be
Patrick.
like, Manoy na. And so
Oh,
like,
Sorsogon is
mag-smile
Bicol,
kay Manoy.
according to Gab.
Sorsogon is Bicol. All right, so that's like northern Luzon, right?
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Gab, what are your terms in for like the elder, like a kuya, ate, in where's Gab again from?
Samar, Leyte, right?
Yeah, specific part of that area. Gab, where are you originally from specifically? I know you told me about like having that big flood back in the day, in the 90s
He's
or
Waray,
something.
right?
Yes.
Ormoc.
Ormoc, yeah. He's Waray. Waray Ligo.
Ormoc.
Waray Ligo.
Ormoc. Ormoc City.
Waray Boat.
Leyte.
Leyte. It's in Leyte. Okay. Ormoc City, that's it.
Tama,
Ormoc.
Ormoc, Leyte.
From
Okay.
from the wife of
And what do you say it like that? Like we say Ormoc. But if you say it like really nice, like Ormoc, like see, it sounds nice. Ormoc City,
Yeah.
like right?
Okay.
You say Ormoc.
Where are people who are always late from? Where are most people who don't show up on time? Where are they mostly from?
I don't know.
Leyte. Leyte.
Leyte. Always
Leyte.
Leyte.
Ormoc
Leyte.
is not Waray. they're Bisaya. Tacloban is Waray.
I see. I thought if you're from somewhere there, you're like automatically Waray. So people from Tacloban are the Waray people, not
Yes,
necessarily from. But Tacloban is what? Like, is Tacloban part of Leyte?
I know.
I think my
So
dad has been there playing bowling. Like
so why is
in actual
Waray referred to as
tournaments.
like Waray is described as like matapang, you know? So if it's is it because like of just where you're from? So the people in Ormoc, which is near Tacloban, like there's actually a difference in your personalities or in your DNA just because of that short like the Ormoc folks are not really like matapang and the Tacloban people are matapang because that's kind of like the stereotype, right? If you say someone's waray, like they have a temper, or they're like warrior type of people. And I
Hmm.
guess I guess for so Gab, you don't have a temper. You don't think you're is there like would you be insulted if somebody referred to you as such and such when you're not, or you're fine? Because waray I would assume is part of Visayas too, right? Am I right? Is Ormoc in
Should
Visayas?
be.
So if you're in Visayas, aren't you referred to as Bisaya? Or no, it's not. Doesn't work that
Should
way,
be.
right? If you're in
Should be.
Visayas, shouldn't you be Bisaya because you're in Visayas? Tacloban is the capital of Leyte, situated which is the Waray area, facing Samar.
All right. So,
Heck, man, I
but
only know
only
Samal and
people,
Davao.
well, only people from Tacloban are Waray, but it's part of Leyte. It's the capital of Leyte. All right. Okay. So, all right. So now I get it. Because automatically, before if I mean, if I hear somebody who's from Leyte, I would automatically think that they're Waray.
Same
They're from
here.
Samar or from Ormoc. But all right. So they're not. Ormoc is in western Leyte, facing Cebu. That's why we are Bisaya. All right.
Okay,
Bisaya.
okay, so hold on. So Leyte is facing what? Is that facing Cebu? What is it facing? Palawan? So why are they not Bisaya? Why are
What
they
are you talking
Waray?
about? Like, are you talking about like Tacloban City?
Yeah, the ones who are Waray, they're not Bisaya. Are Waray
Because
people
they're from
not
Tacloban. So
Okay, are Waray people not Bisaya?
okay, okay. Tacloban is the capital of Leyte. So people who are from Tacloban are the Waray people, right? And they are situated in the eastern Leyte, which is the Waray area facing Samar. So that area is actually it could be like it's not what is it like a tribe, Gab? Because I, I mean I'm not educated in terms of like how Waray what I is it like a tribe, is it what is it I mean is it
Yeah,
a
because
group of
like
people?
because Ilocanos like they're from where they're from. Like Ilocanos like from Ilo, but then again there are
Right,
Ilocanos in Baguio. That's Baguio, but they're Ilocano,
right.
right?
Then there are also Ilocanos in Ilocos.
So is Ilocano also a tribe? That's actually a good question because, like I said, if a place is in Visayas, aren't they automatically Bisaya? But apparently no. Like because Gab was very clear about differentiating between Waray and Bisaya. So the
Right,
Warays are
and
obviously not Bisaya.
I don't even know what we call our like the dialect that we speak in Davao, because we say we are Bisaya, but then my wife can speak. She knows Dabawenyo, the
Yeah,
Nabawenyo. So
yeah. It's
it's
different.
different
It's
because
different.
she would like speak with her grandmother and her aunties in Dabawenyo, and it's totally different.
My
And
friend who passed
my
away,
mom
Goods,
can't understand,
he
but
speaks
can't
Dabawenyo
speak it.
because
She
he's
speaks
from
Dabawenyo.
Davao Oriental. I think he's from
Yeah, Davao
right.
Oriental. Yeah,
Yeah, he's from
yeah.
Davao Oriental.
Because
So he
I
knows.
have relatives who are from Davao Oriental.
So he knows how to
So
say like
same.
dihin kina na something like that. So it
Well,
just
you're
sounds
right, right,
different.
right,
I'm
right.
like dihin kina na and I'm like, what is that? And it's apparently Dabawenyo
Yeah.
because he's from Davao Oriental. The late
And to
Goods, my
me,
friend.
it's I mean, it's funny. I
I
listen
know.
to it like, oh, that's funny.
So that's actually
It
what the
sounds funny.
Mindanao dialect, or right? That's actually what the Mindanao dialect is, because Bisaya is from Visayas. So if that actually spread and became popular, that would probably be known as like Mindanaoan or something, right? It would be because what is it referred to? Dabawenyo? What is it called?
I don't know, like Dabawenyo. I think that's what it is. Because my
It's
wife's
not
aunties
Mandaya.
would no, it's not, because they would ask my wife like, "Oh, kabalo ni magdinabawinyo," and they were like, "Ah, no, he doesn't." Like, yeah, all right, because
Yeah.
sometimes they like speak in Dabawenyo, and like so if I don't understand, they like not speak Dabawenyo because I'm there.
It's different, right?
But yeah, so when I was new to the family, it was like always like that. Oh, kabalo ni magdinabawenyo. Like, nah, no, he doesn't.
Yeah. So if
But
you're like a
now he's
tourist
fine.
and you wanted to visit Davao and you do research online and it's you see Dabawenyo, you would think that's what people would speak in Davao, right? So
No,
you
we
learn
speak
Dabawenyo and then you
speak
arrive
a
here and you're
mix
like,
of Bisaya, and we have our own Tagalog. We have our own Tagalog. I mean, we speak it in our. We speak it our way. We have a way of speaking it, and that's not even Tagalog, but it's like
yeah,
Davao Tagalog,
it's
right?
how
And we have our
Kakay
Davao
talks.
Bisaya.
I always imagine
Yeah,
Kakay, the way Kakay talks,
and
that's the
and the way
perfect.
we talk, that's Davao Bisaya. That's not actually Bisaya. Like that's.
Yeah,
I mean, I learned that from. I told you, like from. I think I told you that story before from Yoda, because Yoda went to Cebu, and we thought we're like actually hardcore
it's
Bisaya, but then when
hardcore.
he went there, no, we're
It's
not.
hardcore.
It's like holy shit. And when he first went there, and you know how it is in Davao, like when we go to fast food and shit, like
Hmm.
we talk in Tagalog like, oh miss, pakiano nga, like we always try to be like, gusto ko ng ano, like we try to be, we speak in Tagalog when we're at the fast food and stuff, and he
Yeah,
did
yeah,
that when he went to Cebu,
yeah.
and I think for some reason the crew got offended, and the girl just told the other guy like, burger ko na iyo, burger ko no. It was like, miss, isang burger. Burger
It's
ko na.
it's different too. Like they discriminate you for it's
Yeah,
different.
for being, yeah.
It's not like
Burger ko na.
you're social Tagalog Manila and you're discriminating the Bisaya. No,
Right,
it's the
yeah,
Bisaya
yeah.
discriminating the other folks like
Yeah,
us.
they're probably like, naunsa man ni siya, oy? Burger ko na iya. And that's what, and I dig it. So I heard that from Yoda. So the first time I went to Cebu, I was like, all right, I got to get my Bisaya, like
Hardcore, yeah,
groove
hardcore.
on, right? So I gotta,
Yeah.
because I also worked with some people who are from Cebu when I was in Manila. When like I was training for to become a medical representative with AstraZeneca. So all these guys are really hardcore, like
Bisaya.
Cebuano, right? So
Yeah.
they were.
There's
they
no
were trying to
Tagalog.
talk
It's
to me.
either English or
Yeah,
Bisaya,
I
right?
didn't understand. They would be like, "Al barog barog, huh? Barog."
Aida,
And they were like, "What?"
Aida, naglantaw kong bay. What?
Like they were like, "What?" I like, "What? Barog? Say barog.
Huwag
Stand
kang
ba? Stand."
Huwag kang tumabok. That's our Bisaya Tagalog fusion. Huwag kang tumabok.
Welcome to Mabog. Exactly, right?
Maligsan ka.
Maligsan ka.
I mean, okay, so what about Tagalog? Because, like, what shouldn't it be like Luzonian or something? Because, like, Tagalog, what's Tagalog? Like, Tagalog in itself, by itself, what is it referring to? Is
Honestly, I
it
think it's
is
like,
it a dialect?
okay, hang
Is
on.
it
It's
a
back in the day,
clan of
back in the
people?
day. I think back in the day, history-wise, especially during Bonifacio's time, it was like Katagalugan. That wasn't like Metro Manila or whatever. That was like
It's like a
Katagalugan.
region. It's like a region.
So it's Katagalugan. So that's why it's hence probably the language spoken there is Tagalog. But then we kind of like, as as time went on, it became like, all right, let's call it it's Filipino. But actually,
Okay.
like before that, like the revolutionary history, it was like it wasn't Manila, it wasn't Filipinas, it was like Katagalugan.
Okay.
So it could be from that. Like that's why they say like, oh, Tagalog. But then now we're saying like, oh, Filipino is Tagalog. So we don't say Tagalog anymore. We say Filipino. But
Okay.
that's Tagalog. So but still it sticks, right? Like Tagalog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The-
So that's where it's
what it
from.
was.
So that's where it's from. It's like
Right.
it's like a part of because I always hear that in the news. I think Western Tagalog or something. Isn't there like a term like that, like Eastern Tagalog or something? It's actually you hear that sometimes in the news, and I'm like, so what is it? Is it a region? Is it Is it a dialect? But hey, there's so much to learn about our own kind, and we can't even figure out one particular language. I mean, even Tagalog is like, even if you go to Manila, the people there, I think the hardcore like Manila talk for me are usually the Bulakeños. The Bulakeños is like when they talk, it's so for me like Manila Tagalog. There's that like what you said. Pabili nga po ng ala Oh no, hold on. Is that Batanggenyo? No, Bulakeño. Bulakeño is different from Batanggenyo. Ala is Batanggenyo.
I know.
Bulakeño. Bulakeño is like like
It's
how
like a 45
Yes. There you go.
54 ang 54 nga eh. Like,
Oh,
they
best
don't know,
friend
they
lang
have
kami.
that. Best friend kami. They have like
Best friend.
twang. They have that twang.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah. Not the alay. That's
Like I told
Denjo
you, like, I
Padilla.
was I was assigned in Bulacan for a while.
May
I
kawayan, right?
I yeah, it was actually Malolos. I was in
Okay.
Malolos
Oh,
and
wow. That's
all
historic,
these.
right? Isn't that
Yeah,
historic, Malolos? Yeah.
yeah, I saw the Barswain Church. The
Yes, yes.
first the first place that my senior rep took me was the Barswain Church. Like, I'm gonna take you there,
Is that the one
and
with
he
the
was like,
cat in the 10 peso
yeah,
bill? Okay.
that's what he asked
Did
me
you
in the
look? Did you try
beginning.
to
He's like,
find the cat?
yeah,
No.
that's what he asked me to do. Like, can you find the cat? I was like, but he was just messing with me. Like, where's the cat? I'm like, oh my god, this guy's messing with me. I knew he was messing with me, but he was my senior rep, so I can't really, I have to pretend that I was looking for the freaking cat. But yeah, it was crazy. But I saw the Malolos church, and I was like, holy crap! And I mean, I've never been out of Davao, right? That was my first time
Yes.
to be out of Davao, and when I saw that church, that was the first time I was like, oh, I only see this out of 10 peso bill. Now I'm seeing it in
You know,
like in real life.
you know what's a
I'm
grail
like,
place to
oh
go
my
to? Because
goodness, what?
growing up as kids, we always saw it in our books and stuff. That church bell tower in Mount Apo, Mount Mayon. That, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Right, right.
That's
As a
true.
kid, that's the most iconic, I think. The Mayon, and then there's, it's Mayon because, well, it's a perfect cone, but
I
there's
hope it's still
also
there,
that tower. Oh well,
despite the
Mayon.
volcanic eruption that
That's a
took
good
place a few
question.
years
Good
ago.
question.
I hope it's still there.
But
What do you
that's
call that place?
that's a grail for me. That's a grail for me to actually be there, have my picture taken. Because, like I said, if there's any place in the Philippines that for me is really like a standout, it's that. Because as a kid, you see that in your books. You see that I think it's in the money. It's everywhere. And the mystique of it is that that's an actual church under that, and it was covered in lava. And the only thing that's left visible is the church bell tower. So you can just imagine, like, how come nobody ever dug that up? Nobody ever decided to dig down there and like this. I mean, an entire town was covered in lava, and if not for that church bell tower, there would be no evidence of it. Like that Pompeii thing in Europe that was
Hmm.
covered in lava. I mean, that's sort of like our own Pompeii. So for me, that was like, as a kid, I was always imagining that. Like, why is there like a tower thing there? And apparently, the whole church is covered up underneath that, and it's just a tower, and that always amazed me. But good question. Is it still around? Let's check. Because Mount Mayon has had its tantrums several times since. And what is that church called? Um, Kagsawa Church. That's what.
Tagsawa?
Kagsawa, and
Tagsawa.
it was destroyed by the 1814 eruption of Mayon volcano. Wow.
Freaking-
So you know who we should ask about this? Mao, because Mao was alive back then. I'll ask
He's a
Mao. Mao,
vampire. He's a vampire. When was the last time you've seen Mao?
dude,
Last
like
year?
2 centuries ago. No, he actually messaged me because he wanted to go out again, like hang out again. I don't know. So I'm like,
When was
yeah,
the last,
sure.
like, 2 months ago?
That time when we went to that bar and we had our pictures taken, and I was like, I did a Facebook live because I was so drunk, and I deleted it the morning
That
after
was
because
this year. That was this year.
that was like a month ago maybe.
Was that a month ago?
But I had like a bad hangover, man. I haven't been going out like to bars and stuff because I have two boys, dude, and
Right.
it's
So
like
that was you, Chuck, and
Joe.
like Joe.
That's it.
All right.
And then we went to
Working over
Streets
there?
after. No, we invited him, but I think he had to go somewhere early the next day. So
Had to
we
play golf?
yeah, probably. I mean, he's been winning at golf, so it's his calling. You can't blame the guy. We were complaining about golf, like being a kind of a pointless thing for us. But if somebody's winning, like a brand new TV, or hitting a hole in one and getting like a lot of money for that, I mean, hey, keep it up. Patrick says, "Wag kang no." Patrick says, "But there is now a conscious effort to integrate other languages from different parts of the Philippines into the mainstream language. I've read Bisaya words in some expressions." Okay, so Patrick, in reference to the term language, what makes it a language? What makes it a dialect? Because I mean, Bisaya is a dialect, right? So the language is what, the national thing that you use, like the English language. Is that what it is? Because like in Indonesia, I think it's Bahasa, right? But I'm sure they have other dialects that's not as popular as Bahasa. And In Chinese, there's Mandarin. There's what's the other one? Mandarin.
Fukian.
Fukian. I think there's another one. Amoy?
Cantonese.
Cantonese. Yeah, there's Cantonese. There's also Mamimis. I'm kidding. Alright. Cantonese, Mamimis, you didn't get it. Alright, anyways. So, dialect and language. Because I've always kind of, like Bisaya is the dialect, but Tagalog is a language because it's Filipino. Okay.
All right, so it's so hard to understand. Like difference between language and dialect. Now they say that dialect is a version of a language spoken in a particular geographical area or by.
So
a
Bisaya
particular group
is
of people.
dialect.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a dialect, but like what version? It's not a version of Filipino. No way. That's totally
No.
different language.
Yeah, you're right. There's no
Right?
connection to it, almost, right?
You-
Like
you
langgam
can
is
get
like
about-
different.
Yeah, it is totally different. You cannot say that it's
You're
like,
right.
a version of it. It's
Me-
not a version of it. It's a totally different. Like no, I mean that's why Manila people hate Bisaya people because they do not understand anything. Like they would not understand anything we say. So when I was there, training with all these guys from Luzon, they would get mad if we speak in Bisaya. The Cebu people and the Davao people, when we start speaking in Bisaya, they say, "Huwag naman kayo mag-German, pare. Alam niyo naman di kami nakaka-German eh." Like they would say that. So I mean, but us, if they speak Tagalog, that's not a problem because like we learn it in school, so that's that's not a big deal. But for them, I mean, if it's a version of like the Filipino language, at least they would understand half of
I get what you're
it. If they
saying. I get what
don't,
you're saying.
it's
Like
a
me,
totally different thing.
okay, let's find an example. Like let's find an example. Let's say maybe in another country that let's say they have a language and then they have a dialect, which the dialect is just a variation of the main language. I'm trying to figure. 'Cause I'm not familiar with languages of other countries though, but let's say maybe assuming like because I mean like in China, right? They have Cantonese, they have Mandarin, they have whatever. Are they kind of close to one another? I mean, do they share certain words? Because I know the counting is like sin se and then like chitnan
I
chachi,
heard that
right?
it's also different because some Chinese would discriminate you if you can't speak this particular Chinese language or dialect. I don't know. Like which one is it? I don't know. Is it Cantonese? Is it Mandarin? Or
I think
I have no idea.
Mandarin is the one that most people were probably in like a business or something. That's the one that they probably try to learn because that's the one that's kind of more universal, probably in like. You can correct me. I mean, Jaspersky, if you're on board, let me know because he studied that. He went to China to study Mandarin, and then he came back with oranges. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, it's like that's all he did. Just to study that, and you would assume that he would know that already because he went to Chinese school or he's Chinese or whatever. But apparently, no. Like
Even this guy that I met a few weeks ago, no, like 2 weeks ago. He's from Boston, right? So he speaks. He told me about like, well, I like Chinese people discriminate too because if you speak this but you can't speak this, then it's like, right? Like, nah, you're not Chinese, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one is it. There is this joke that I've heard in which Bisaya is better than Tagalog. Sa Tagalog, ang langgam gumagapang pa. Sa Bisaya, ang langgam lumilipad na. Yeah, I've heard that before too.
Same with libog, right? Same with libog. But in Tagalog, libog is better. I think. Right?
Naglibog ko and they'd be like, ano sinabi mo pare?
Manyakis ka, dre!
And I hate that because it sounds so corny. I mean, the humor too, it's so different. So if like you're in a mixed group and all of a sudden you burst out in Bisaya like ay puta libugay and obviously like parang libog yan nalilibog.
Here's the
Like, all
thing.
the Bisaya people would be like look at it these days like
You know why during the war most of the Filipino soldiers were Bisaya? Because the Tagalog people couldn't be quiet, Tumahimik ka, nandiyan yung mga kalaban. Asan pare? Saan yung mga kalaban? It's like every time you speak in Tagalog, you have to be loud and obnoxious about it. Like, it's not Manila Tagalog. If you're like, pare, saan ka ba? You can't, right? But Bisaya is like, may paghilom ba yun? Like, Bisaya, you can hung it. But Tagalog, you have to be like, pare! You think you get it, like, it's like you're doing flip-top all the time. You have a good morning towel to wipe your sweat and stuff. So I mean, we're not. We're just trying to get back at the Tagalog folks who have discriminated us through the years. Referring to Bisaya folks is like, I mean, the most popular Bisaya guy back in the day was Amay Bisaya. I mean, not necessarily the guy you would
Well,
want to
here's the
champion
thing too.
our, you know.
I wouldn't like back in the day when I would go there and people were like, Bisaya, like it's like, nah, I don't care. I'm like, I'm Bisaya, it's fine. Like whatever,
But for
whatever
them,
you
it's
think,
like, you know,
you
it's
know, like
like
whatever you
mga
think
katulong
Bisaya,
Bisaya,
Bisaya
mga, right?
people are, that's not the case because, dude, I would go crazy because sometimes I would be with my cousins in Malinta
Yung they're
and
Tagalog, super Tagalog.
everybody's Tagalog there. All their friends are Tagalog. There's nobody I can speak to in Bisaya there. So I would go crazy because sometimes I'd be there for about a week. Because the time that I would be that I would be staying there is if my area would be Bulacan. So imagine
Okay.
that. Throughout the
Super
day, I'm in
Tagalog.
Bulacan.
Bulacan super
So that's,
Tagalog,
yeah,
right?
I know, right? So the whole day you're in Bulacan. Then you go home to Malinta and you have your cousins who their mom is Bisaya, but they've been raised.
Yeah, they're Tagalites already.
Yeah,
The
so
wifey's cousins, they live in Cubao and they all like they don't speak
yeah, so
Bisaya. They're all
different,
Tagalog.
right? So I would go crazy. I can't wait to get back to the main office and hang out with the Cebu people and the Davao people because it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
And the first time, like I told you, the first time I heard, like I see this on TV, I've heard it before. I read it on the comics that I read and the books that I read. This word, but then when I actually heard it for the first time, and being used in the actual context of it I didn't know how to respond. I was like about to laugh, but the situation was so serious because
Yeah.
my cousins were fighting. So there's like three of them, right?
Yeah.
Two boys and one girl. So the brothers
Yeah.
were fighting, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, because they were like really getting into
Freaking
it,
out. You're freaking out, yeah. I
No,
think
no,
you told me
I
about
wasn't
that.
freaking
I
out.
just don't remember it
Yeah,
very much.
right. So the one who freaked out was the sister. I was in another room, like
Yeah.
watching my porn, and they were like fighting in a different room.
Yeah, yeah.
And all of a sudden, the sister started shouting, "Saklolo, Saklolo, Alvin, Saklolo!" And I was like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm like, I wasn't. That was the first time I heard of it. Like Saklolo, I was like, Saklolo is like. In the movies, there's like somebody being raped by Romy Diaz or Paquito
Yeah,
Diaz.
yeah, no. It's like,
all of a sudden, I'm
we don't even know what that
hearing
means.
I'm like, what?
I would be like tabang. It's
I know
tabang, right?
Tabang, like,
Yeah.
I know I know it is, but it's like it's just
harder to
funny.
say.
That was the first time I heard it. Like
Saklolo.
Saklolo. It's like, what the fuck was that? I was like, Saklolo. My
Did somebody
ass.
put the volume on the TV and they're watching PBO?
Like, you know what? If he said help, that would have been like more
Yeah.
normal to me.
But
like,
if it was in
help,
Davao,
help,
in Davao, it would have been saklolo, saklolo. Sakna, lolo pa. Wow, this is better than porn. I should go out there and check it out. Sakna, lolo pa.
Sakna lulo pa. Oh my god.
Saklolo. See, it's always funnier if it's in Bisaya, right?
I
It's
know,
always
right?
funnier if it's in Bisaya. Because
It is,
Tagalog,
it is.
Saklolo is like whoever made that shit up. Think about it. Your life's in danger. You need to call the attention of the authorities or the neighbors to alert them. And you have to yell out Saklolo. That's so freaking long. Like, what if you go Saklo and then he chokes you? Saklo!
Right.
Nobody will come to your attention because Saklo doesn't mean anything. They would be like,
Right.
Saklolo ba yun? Saklo lang sanabi. Yeah, wala, okay lang yun. Saklo lang yun. So you have to say a lot of things. Saklolo. That's like three, what is that, the term? Three,
What?
like Saklolo. In
Three
English, like,
syllables? Saklolo.
yeah, 3 syllables. That's
Syllable.
saklolo, right? So it's like,
Saklolo.
so I mean,
Like, that's
it should just be
three
tabang.
syllables, yeah.
Tabang! Oh, that's
Right.
it.
Tabang.
Right? Yeah, tabang. Saklolo is like so long. It's like so OA. Like saklolo.
It is.
I mean,
It is.
right? Like I said, you would have been choked to death by the time you get to the second law.
And I find all the jokes like okay, all right. There are jokes that I love. Okay, I've seen a lot of comedy movies, and for the most part, it's funny, right?
Yeah.
But in real life, when you're actually talking to people, it's never funny to me. Like I never find like, sorry, like people who speak in Tagalog. Okay, not just all right. Here's the thing, not just Tagalog people. I'm talking about like all types of people who speak Tagalog. If the joke's in Tagalog, I don't really find it funny.
Not
for some
funny.
reason, right? But if it's in
Yeah.
Bisaya, it's just like it's just so funny. Even if
Yeah.
it's just like a curse, even if it's just a curse, it comes out so funny.
What about what's his name? Anjo Iliana's joke in Palibasa Lalaki.
dude, I love like that's the thing. Like I love it. But I'm talking
Andres
about like real life.
Bonifacio, atapang nga tao, aputol pa, ay hindi atakbo. I mean,
That's
that's
fine
like,
because like these are comedians and they're really good, right? But what I'm talking about is like when it's like in actual, like in actual
they're
life,
telling the
in
joke.
real life,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like like
Bisayas
when you're,
funnier. Yeah, Bisayas
when you're
funnier.
hanging out with like for example, if you have people from Manila and you're hanging out with them, and then they start talking, dude, like it could be a cultural thing because like their
That's why
culture is
Manila,
different.
the Tagalog comedians have to look funny because they're not really funny. Like, okay, look at Tagalog comedians, right? Look, the Carding from Ray Cards, right? Unga Ayala, Rene Riquestas. Look at them, just look at them. They're funny already. Look at the Cebuano comedians. They're Tisoy. Like, Tep and Goliath, yeah, maybe Goliath's kind of funny looking, but you
Redford
look at the
White, Redford
you look at
White,
you look at the Cebuano comedians, they're Tisoy, man. Like if you watch, I used to watch these like noontime, like Bisaya, Cebuano, like comedy shows, like Goat the Wonderful and stuff. And I'd be watching it, and it's a comedy, and they don't look wacky. Like they're like good-looking people. But in Manila, if you're a comedian, you look at that guy who's like that. Was it Tatlong Itlog or that guy who like was in the classroom scene, and you thought he was like going like this, but it's actually his bald head with a drawing of a face.
No, then the classroom, you're wrong. You're
Hey,
wrong.
what is it? That's not a security guard.
security guard.
No, the
Security
security guard
guard.
has the security guard has his eyelids drawn with the eyes. That's different.
Was that a different?
Yeah, he was like he
that
was
a different
asleep
thing?
and they drew like eyes on the
Could be wrong.
eyelid.
I could be
The
wrong.
other one that's going like this is you look at it, you think it's a person looking, but it's actually his head. Somebody drew a face. But see, like they have to look wacky, like the Tatlong Itlog, those guys, Babalu, Kachupoy, they all have to be wacky. I mean,
But dude,
Dolphy was.
Kachupoy is like funny. I love Kachupoy.
I know.
Kachupoy.
And Kachupoy's like serious comedian, like
Yeah,
he's
I
like
know. It doesn't have to be over
he's
the top.
serious.
He is actually funny.
He's serious.
He's actually funny. Now I miss that guy because he's the only he's one of those Tagalog
It looks like a
comedians
tall Weng Weng. It looks like Weng Weng with
who doesn't have to be over the top to deliver his jokes. He's just funny.
I know he's funny.
He's
Like,
just so funny.
dude, Palito, man, he just shows up. Palito, dude, does he have to say anything? Right? Palito, dude. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like in Manila, they have to have that look
No,
because
or it could be that we had I think we had the best generation of comedians. I don't know who the comedians are now.
that's
but
true.
dude,
Bong Navarro, come on, bayani, come on, not really,
no, no. Dude, even Eric Kison and Redford White, Buddy and Soul, I love that show. That was
Isn't
like really funny.
Is it a
Buddy and
TV
Soul,
show or a movie? Was it a TV show or a movie?
TV show, and they had a movie. But
Okay.
dude, Redford White is just like really nuts, and with Eric Kison, they were like they usually are brothers.
That was
and
like
it's
odd
really
odd
cool.
pairing, right? Like the odd
Yeah.
couple, right?
Yeah. And even Joey Marquez, like even Richard Gomez. I don't think he's a comedian, but they were funny.
They were
Like
fun
John
together.
Estrada.
Together they were funny. Yeah,
Together
they're
they're
funny.
funny. Like they can't be apart though, because if they're together, they're just
Dude,
usually
going bananas. Christopher De Leon. Who's that
Johnny
guy?
Delgado.
And the other guy would die. Jay Lagan. Those guys are serious
Lagan.
dramatic actors, but
Johnny
together
Delgado is funny.
they're funny.
Like
I
they're
know.
together, like doing bananas,
Yes,
right? Johnny Delgado.
yes.
Like who
Going
would Johnny Delgado is like
I
always
know.
gonna drop them.
Let's go. I know that guy's scary, man. But
Yeah, he
but
is a versatile actor.
yes, he
That
is.
That guy's
Yes.
great. Is he still alive?
He's dead. He's dead. Heart attack.
Fuck.
I mean, I'm not kidding. It's real. He died. He died of a heart
Mm.
attack. So, anyways, I mean, like I said, like okay, Ogie and Bitoy.
Oh,
Dude, they're
not.
Okay, Bitoy is a good writer. I have his book.
Right.
He's actually pretty intelligent with his humor, and Ogie's more of a composer, and Ogie's is like trying to be, but Ogie's not really a comedian. Bitoy has writing skills, so he's really good. But they're not.
Come on, man. Dolphy.
It's not like the
These
comedians
guys
of our
are
time,
so-
dude. The comedians of our time, they had people who just played one particular role. Like this guy known as Piling was only a corpse. He's just all he did was show up with like freaking cotton in his nose, and that's it. You never see Piling like do other roles. But Piling,
Piling.
Deli Atay-Atayan, right? Tuesyay. I mean, these people, they knew their role and they loved it and they were proud of it. They didn't try to be like rolling in a Mercedes Benz or trying to be cool in
Nova
ASAP or
Villa,
something.
I love Nova Villa.
Nova Villa, I love her too. She's really pretty and she's really
Sammy
pretty and really
Lagmay.
funny.
Sammy
Guy's
Lagmay
dead.
has been
That
like,
guy's dead.
Yeah. It was just sad the way he died. But dude, something like might go way back to the time of like the IBC 13. What was that like chicks to no 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 like Ekasi Babae, was it Ekasi Babae, like all those girls
I
or
wasn't
whatever.
here
I think he
probably
was
during that time. I know chicks to chicks. Chick 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 chicka
yeah.
chick
So
chick 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 chick.
I think he was also in Ekasi Babae with Chapusit and all those like sexy
So he
girls.
was the chick boy. He was the main man,
No, no, he was like no, he wasn't the main man. He was like one of
like the
the
neighbor.
uh, not the neighbor. He could be like one of the maintenance guy or whatever. Like that. That's
Okay.
usually his role.
So who was the
Like
chick
the
boy there?
maintenance.
Who was like the main guy there? Because in Chicks to Chicks is Freddie Webb,
There was
right?
this
In Chicks to Chicks, is
soy
Freddie
guy.
Webb.
Yeah, yeah. There was this soy guy, but oh no 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 no. Johnny whatever. Johnny
Chotrani,
Wilson.
Johnny
Johnny
Chotrani.
Wilson. Johnny Wilson, my
Who
friend.
the heck is Johnny
He,
Wilson?
oh come on. You
Dude,
don't
who's
remember
Johnny
Johnny
Wilson?
Wilson?
I did not know who Johnny
Dude,
Wilson is. Who's
Johnny
Johnny
Wilson.
Wilson?
Come on, man. All right, Google him. Google him.
Okay, is that the guy wearing the wig now? Who's like a talk show host,
No,
like
no,
at
no,
night?
no, no.
Johnny Wilson? What the heck?
Johnny Wilson, Filipino actor. This guy, come
Never
on,
heard.
man.
Okay, hold on. Let me check. Maybe my
He's always
face.
a Filipino too, like in some
Okay,
movies. But he was
hold
like,
on. Let me
he
check.
was also
Johnny Wilson? Really?
a
Hold
Filipino
on.
actor. Right? Oh, you died 2003. Shit, that was a long time ago.
This guy looks like a fat Tony Ferrer. Oh
You don't
yes.
remember this
Okay.
guy?
Yes.
Oh, man.
He's always a contrabida. Him, Jaime Fabregas. No, not Jaime Fabregas.
Yeah.
The guy with the beard. Tony Carrion. Was it Tony Carrion?
Yeah, Tony Carrion.
Him,
Right.
Tony Carrion.
Guys,
I mean, Subas Herrero plays bad guy too, but I think he's still a good guy. You know, who else plays the iconic bad guys? Tony Carrion, this guy. So that's his name, Johnny Wilson. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. He looks like I know who he looks like. He looks like
It's Ekasi Babae. There's like Janice Sorado, where like the sexy ladies there were at that time was like Janice Sorado. Who else?
wow. You remember Jenny Sorado because of the boobs?
Bessie Badilla. Yeah, see, this is like what way back now. See,
What year? What year was
have
this?
split. This was 1988. They have a.
Oh, I
clear
wasn't there.
cut.
I wasn't here. I wasn't here in the Philippines. That's why.
And
That's why.
That's why.
That's
Yeah.
why. I don't remember.
So I remember him like being like. Then he when you came back, he was like in this like television no like movies where he's like contrabido and whatever.
You know the name that I would always see back then on credits and never know who the actor was? Zaldi Zabala. Was it Saldi
Saldi
Zabala?
Zabala?
Saldi Zabala. I would always see that, like, I mean, almost any movie, action, comedy, whatever. You see, who the heck is Saldi Zabala? Because I knew who Bamber Moran was. I knew who,
Saudi Sabala is like
Saldi
an
Zabala,
actual-
dude. Come on,
He's a military person.
huh? He's not a real person. He's not an actor. What? Oh no, Zaldi Shornak. Zaldi Shornak. That's the one. Zaldi Zabala. Where the heck did I get Zaldi Zabala from? What the heck am I talking about?
ENT guy. A Filipino actor. Sure.
No, Zaldi Shornak. That's the one. Zaldi
I
Shornak.
know this guy. I've seen this guy. Yeah, I know this.
Zaldi Zabala. Where did I get Zaldi Zabala from? That's like a real
I know
person.
this guy.
Yeah. Zaldi Shornak. That's the one.
Yeah.
Zaldi Shornak. I would always
And-
see that.
And Dindo Fernando too. Like he died early with a brain tumor.
Yeah, I know. That guy was like level with Christopher De Leon, or maybe even above Christopher
Yeah,
De Leon.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, he was like a movie awarded actor.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy was like, every time you see him in movies, like, and there's this guy who's also like a dramatic actor with the mustache, Tommy Abuel, like that guy.
Tell me about.
Like he's borderline, like you don't know if he's a serious dramatic actor or he's a comedian, because like you look at him like any minute now he can be funny, you know, like he's always like the dirty old man who gets caught, you know. He's
Looks like-
almost
yeah, he looks like-
right, because Tommy Abuel is always in movies and he's always kind of like this like confidant friend. Like let's say Zaza Padilla's husband is like Christopher De Leon, but Christopher De Leon like starts having an affair, and Zaza Padilla like needs to talk to a friend of her husband. The friend of her husband would be Tommy Abuel. And Tommy Abuel would be like, they would always meet like at this restaurant that looks like Max Fried Chicken or something from back in the day. And they would always sit there and talk like, and that's just how they rolled. And Tommy Abuel just stuck with that role of having the mustache and that hair, and that was just his role. And I think that was the beauty of cinemas in Philippine cinema back then, is that the actors had roles and that's it. They specialize. Wala silang di sila nag-ambisyon na maging. Because now you have a comedian. The next minute he'll be like an action star. The next minute he'll be like a madney idol. I'm like, so what is this guy? You know, like,
True.
what is he really? You know, like, you know he's a comedian, but you know he's gonna be a main actor if he gets the break. Ogie and Bitoy. Patrick only knows Ogie and Bitoy, man. It's like, it's sad. He didn't know
All right,
Kachikoy.
1 hour. 1 hour, because
Okay.
Raj has
Yeah,
like,
yes. Fractions.
exam week.
I hate fractions, dude.
I have
You know
to study
fractions?
tomorrow.
Are you good with fractions?
Dude, I hate numbers. I hate math. I mean, I can handle addition and subtraction.
Okay,
but
let me just ask you, sir, since you were a teacher, you're a professor, or whatever, so you know about the teaching method at least. Can what's
No, I
like
taught
what's
English
what's 5 over
How do you
8?
do math? Dude,
5
I don't
over
know.
8.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. If it's not 1 plus 1, I don't know.
Look, it's like all I remember is that you cross multiply or something. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with math? Why do they
Cannot help
complicate
my
shit?
daughter with that. It's just like crazy. Like I was an English composition teacher in uni, but that's
I don't
it,
mind English.
right?
English is easy.
So
You can
right,
you can
exactly.
outsmart English. Like English is like you can find a way around it. But math, dude, that's you can't create your own
Math?
formula, man.
You can't bullshit math.
You can't
You
bullshit
cannot
math.
bullshit numbers.
You cannot.
Numbers don't lie.
You can't just like
It's
put
not
stuff in there.
bullshit. It's numbers.
He-
You know,
and the worst
555
part-
is 555.
I don't mind the answer. I can figure out the answer. It's like show the formula. Fudge, man. You're like, who cares? As long as I get the freaking answer. What does it matter?
How did you get to it? See, the teachers are so smart. How did you get to it? Like, oh, you just
like-
copied it. Like, no, show me how you got it.
No, because it's like, kung mangudigo ka and you're looking at the person next to you, you can easily see the answer. It's right next to the equal sign. But the rest of it, like, oh shit, I gotta do the freaking, like, it's hard. Anyways.
It's terrible. Terrible.
You're having a
Right,
heat
right.
stroke, man. It's super hot there.
Yeah, I'm trying to save on electricity. You know me.
Yeah, of course, I understand that. Tomorrow.
When do you? Tomorrow?
Oh, wait, what is
Alright,
tomorrow?
okay.
What's tomorrow?
Wednesday. I'm fine tomorrow. Like, we can do
Okay.
it,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If we can do it tomorrow, let's do it tomorrow because you never know. Because I mean, like, because Raj's exam is until Friday. So once we're done with math, that's kind of like a big hurdle that we've overcome. The next one is Filipino. I think we're worse at Filipino than we are at math. I mean,
But yeah, I mean, Filipino's Filipino. I mean, you can still bullshit Filipino, but
No,
math,
you can't.
You can't bullshit.
they have this like terms that I don't know what they are. Like,
Well, yeah,
panitikan, whatever
well,
crap. Pambalana.
live in-
Oh, you know what? Okay, what's a pambalana?
I don't
Pambalana.
remember that.
See, you don't even know what the
When
pambalana
I-
is.
Because I don't like study that anymore. But when I was a kid, I didn't have a problem with that because I read a lot of Filipino comics. I was I was a comic geek. So all vocabulary, I was ready for it. Like yeah, panitikan wasn't a problem for me, especially in elementary school because I've had so much exposure. But after high school, it like no more comics and shit. So it was like no Tagalog just it's a setback for me now. But back in the day, it was like when comics were still available, I would read all these Tagalog comics, and yeah. Like,
Didn't it frustrate you to like read a story in like Tagalog comics and it's only like 2-3 pages and then itutuloy? That's why Wakasan was
Yeah,
probably the
because-
best read. Wakasan was like the
No,
best
because-
because you want to buy the next issue.
I always wait for it every week. So I was like one of those, here we have
Tutuloy.
manga and people like actually, sinusubaybayan.
Follow it.
They actually,
Yeah.
like follow it and actually subscribe to it. Me, I
Yeah.
would wait for it to come out. The next edition, then I wouldn't buy the comics, but I would read the comics, which was 50 cents per read.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I would go to those like the sidewalk and I would
Yeah.
read like 5 to 6 comics.
Gusto mo magtipid, right? So you just rent the comics and read. But then you're buying cheapy. Okay, kung ice milk na, I can
No, I don't.
You end up paying like 50 pesos. It was read
I do
comics.
that when my father's playing bowling. I do that when my father's playing
Charge it to
bowling,
him.
so
Charge it to him. Charge it to your dad.
it's just like reading and not eating. Pambalana is a common noun, right? See, there you go. Patrick he's in Australia. He knows about it. All right.
I still don't know what a
All right,
common noun is.
so-
All right, anyway, we're done.
So tomorrow we'll be here tomorrow.
What time?
But it's at
8 or 9?
9.
Okay, 9. I mean, even for just an hour, let's do a show.
Yeah, let's do
Right.
let's do an hour tomorrow,
Yeah.
like 9 p.m. And Right, belated to Raj and
Thank
whatever
you.
it is that you're supposed to be paying.
Hey,
Like
no,
Reese,
tell no tell
cut
tell
cut
tell Reese
1,000.
to tell Reese to drop off, drop by the house, and because I mean,
Right.
PPI's like long line, man, and there's no
I'll
like
tell her. I'll
if
tell
she
her.
can, if she
So
can, because
whatever it is you're supposed to pay her, cut 1,000, give it to Raj.
dude, that's too much. 500 for him, 500 for me.
I was I was thinking of 500,
Hoop
but
it.
then my sister was like, "Come on!" I'm like, "All right, okay, 1,000. All right, give him
All
1,000
right,
then."
thanks, man.
All
Thanks,
right,
thanks, thanks. Appreciate that.
okay,
All right,
okay,
I'm sure. Raj, come here. Raj, come here. Your Tito, your Ninong Iceman has something to say. He has a gift for you. He has a gift for you. Say thank you.
What is it?
He's gonna give you 1,000 pesos cash.
all right.
Well,
Not
Thank
500,
you.
500.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
no
you,
problem.
Ninong.
All right, you
Thank
enjoy
you,
your
Ninong.
1,000. All
Yeah.
right.
I was
Okay.
gonna say 500.
You were tempted, huh? All right. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. All right, guys, join us too, if you can, 9 p.m. This has been the OK Show, Rod and Iceman, and we are out. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Nine.